Hey, what's up, everybody? So, thought I'd post a little thing here. Trump's making his appointments now. People are kind of freaking out, right? And with me, there's always things turn over my head, literary connections, and so he gets ready to take office, right? And they went after him. We all know that went after him big time with lawfare, and obviously, tried to shoot him. They're attacking his, family and stuff. So he's been a target of a lot of things, and he's been on this incredible, ridiculous journey, right? And again, those of you who know me know I'm a critic of Trump. I have my problems with him, but this key thing I want us to pay attention to is rooted in this scene in the Odyssey. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar, in ancient Greece, xenia is the treatment of strangers or foreigners, right? How you treat a stranger that comes to your house, guest and host relationship, right? Gifts. So at the end of the Odyssey, Odysseus has slaughtered all the suitors in his home. Okay, for those of you that don't know, these guys were living in his house, eating his food, plotting to kill his son, trying to hook up with his wife, and they just kept staying and staying and staying, and taking advantage of the system of hospitality. Now, Odysseus comes home and he kills them all in his dining room, basically, which again is problematic for a host. But what's happened is something that threatens the entire society, and I'll unpack this. So they're all dead, and Odysseus is looking around to make sure, and Euryclea, who is a maidservant of his wife's, who's been loyal to him all this time and knew him when he was a little boy. She comes in and she's super excited, right? She's dancing around, going hallelujah, and saying, "Oh, the master's back, and he brought you guys low." And Odysseus tells her to be quiet. He stops her, and this is the point I want to focus on. He stops her and he says, "Hey, we're not going to celebrate this, okay? They're wicked. These men did wicked deeds, and their wicked deeds brought them to this end. Okay? We're not going to celebrate it." What Odysseus says there is that this was not revenge. This was justice. And there's a difference. So why do I bring this up? The difference, of course, for Odysseus is that these men weren't just stealing. Okay? They were killing giving. Yeah? In other words, they were using a system of generosity, right? If you notice, when you're a guest and a host, right, there's no written rules. You're not obliged to be a good host. You choose to be a good host. But then you have to choose to be a good guest, right? Like you got to figure out when it's time to leave, right? You don't want to stay too long. Even when you're a kid, right, and your parents will go, "Oh, make sure you leave before dinner time," or whatever, right? So you manage these things. But it's a system based on voluntary generosity and voluntary recognition of that generosity on the part of the guest. What happens is these guys keep staying and taking advantage of a system of generosity. And what are they doing it for? They're using it to try and close a business deal. They're using it for their own aggrandizement. Yeah? They want to hook up with his wife and get his land. And they plot to kill his son in order to help them do that. Right? So they're corrupting. Not only they're not just stealing, they're killing giving. Because people won't give. If guests come and take advantage of the system, right? Then people will stop letting people into their homes, stop being good hosts, stop exchanging gifts. And if you're not exchanging gifts, you're usually exchanging blows, okay? So they're a threat to the entire culture, right? And this, of course, if you read in the rest of the poem, this is completely revisited repeatedly as Odysseus goes to different places, and his son Telemachus and is treated by hosts. And we see lots of stuff surrounding the obligation, right? Menelaus at one point says, when a guest wants to stay, you feed him, and when he wants to leave, you help him on his way. You don't keep him too long, because if you keep a guest who doesn't want to stay, that's called being a jailer, right? So we get this revisited repeatedly. Now, why do I bring this up now? So Trump has taken office, will be taking office in January, and it's very important, okay, that he message this and that everyone understand that it can't be about revenge. For as much as there are people who want him to go after the people that went after him, it can't be about revenge, okay? But there has to be justice, okay? So this is just crucially important, right? And now critics will say, well, Odysseus learns humility on his journey. That's why he understands that this had to happen for the sake of the society, right? Because ancient Greek society, Odysseus makes very clear, right? If we're not treating guests the right way, or if guests aren't treating hosts the right way and recognizing that generosity, then the society breaks down for them, okay? Because they live in a world that's unpredictable with fickle gods who cause earthquakes and all kinds of things, right? But similarly, okay, for our society, there has to be justice. Okay, so as we watch this thing unfold, and I think the administration has to message this very clearly and go, look, we're not going to go for revenge. We're going to look at the laws. We're going to look at what people did. If they broke the law, there's going to be consequences, right? And I'm sure people did. And anytime, if you had broken the law, you would be telling everyone, oh, he's going to go after his political rivals. Okay. Well, maybe some of his political rivals broke the law, but it can't be about revenge. Okay. It has to be about justice. If they broke the law, then there has to be justice. Okay. And they tried to get Trump with a bunch of things, right? And legally, again, a lot of those things haven't held up. Okay. And you could say, well, he's a convicted felon, right? And there's no justice there. But of course, we're still waiting on sentencing for that, right? So, and the system can be corrupted on both sides. And to imagine that only one side could corrupt it for their ends is problematic. So he has to be especially, because if he does just what they did, which is make up things to go after people for, which nobody else has gone after anyone for, well, then he's no better than them. That's revenge. And it has to be about justice. So once again, from the world of antiquity, we got a lesson. In this case, the lesson that there's revenge and justice are not the same thing. That you can't make it about one, but you must have the other. Yeah? Justice, not revenge. And there's a difference. And we have to make sure that that difference is held at the forefront. This is not about gloating. It's about making sure that the system will continue to work. All right? Okay. Peace. Cheers.